Welcome back. This is episode 168 of the NYYST podcast. I am your host, Christian, as always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And Stat Guy Rye.
What up?
Stat Guy Rye.
That's good.
How was your absentee last week? What were you up to exactly?
I had my very close friend is getting married. He had an engagement party.
So you were drunk.
I was hanging out with the best man of your wedding.
Here we go.
His brother.
Here we go. Trigger City.
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
I wasn't even listening.
So you were drunk? Were you drunk?
Yeah, I was drinking a little
You were
bit.
drank.
He was pretty drunk when you were texting us. You were drunk. I wish
Not really though.
we got a little tipsy on the pod last week.
What were you drinking?
I mean, he did. He had half an Angry Orchard, so Chris was blasted.
Yeah.
oh yeah, early in the episode. Yeah, it was a good episode, guys. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it
Thanks.
flows better without you. So
Yeah.
if you want to go on an assignment more often.
Did you say it closed better? Yeah, fine.
So?
Do the whole pod without me.
Not to get all overly religious on everybody here, but Lent started on Wednesday, which leads into the miracle of the resurrection of Christ, if that's something that you believe in, which leads me to another miracle that we don't have to talk about, the cheating scandal this week.
There was some good content on it though this week. A lot of fans are angry and they're showing their anger, which I like. I like it. And these guys are like, and John Heyman wants us to feel bad for them. John Heyman's tweeting how upset they are and how down the clubhouse morale is. Where was that when they were apologizing?
Hey, guess what? Oh, we don't have to talk about it this week.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I just hope they keep getting hit, and I hope that fans keep it up all year.
Unfortunately, it would almost seem like we would rather talk about the cheating scandal as opposed to what we will be talking about, and that's the epidemic, and no, not the coronavirus, of injuries that has now leaked itself over from 2019 into 2020 here with the Yankees. Last week we talked about Sevy, we're not knowing the outcome of his injury, but now we do know. He's having Tommy John surgery. He had Tommy John surgery earlier in the week. Everything went as planned, but guess what? Tommy John surgery means that he's going to be out for the entire year, and he probably will miss, what do you want to say, half of 2021?
At least. As a pitcher, at least.
So,
and look, if the Yankees still think he's their future, they're not going to rush him back. I mean, I don't know what they see in Severino at this point or how much they value him.
Oh, did you listen to what Hal Steinbrenner had to say?
Not really. Listen, and it's not me being ignorant. It's just I don't really fully believe everything the Yankees tell me. I read between the lines when it comes to the Yankees.
You can't read periods, so I doubt you're reading between the lines.
It's easier to read between the lines when you can't read.
Right. Well, Hal was on with Joe and Evan earlier in the week, and he said he still expects Sevy to be great for them, so he doesn't have to say anything. He went out and said it, and Severino's still young. How old is he right now, Ryan? 26?
He's just turned 27? Or he's going to be
26?
26?
On Baseball Reference. He just turned 26.
Just turned 26, okay.
So you'll get him back midway through his age 27 season and have him for his age 28 season. There's no reason not to believe that he still can't be a good pitcher in this league.
Are you frustrated that it took this long for them to find this?
No, because you want to know what I do? I do my research on these
listen.
things.
I know he was going for tests, and I know nothing was coming up. But don't you feel like if he was having this pain that they wouldn't have stopped until they found something? Like, why did it take this last time for them to actually see something?
Because, Chris, this is why you need to do some research, and I'm not singling you out. I'm singling, it's not a singling, it's a lot of people just want to read things and react to them and be angry about them, but I think it helps fans that they do a little bit of research and listen to people in the authority roles when they tell you certain things. And you know,
but I did on this. Like, I didn't listen to Hal, but
and fans are going to be like, oh, they're all full of shit. They don't know anything. This training staff sucks. But hey, you know what? You listen to what Brian Cashman has to say about it on the matter, and you kind of understand why the timetable was what it was. And when you get an MRI done, they set up markers on the part of your body that you're complaining of, you're complaining about. So it is certainly understandable why they missed this on a regular MRI when you find out a little bit about, hey, you know what? If he's complaining about it here, it's not like when you go for an MRI and then they're gonna just take an MRI of your whole body. If you're complaining about it in a certain area, and Brian Cashman said the torn ligament was 2 baseball lengths away from where the pain was. So when you go in for an MRI to set markers up, they're not really checking that far away from it. They want to see why the pain is in that area that you're complaining about.
Okay, Mr. Research, when's the last MRI he got?
When was the last MRI that he got?
Before this past one. Was it middle of the year last year? I don't know, but from my research, he was still feeling this pain in the postseason and throughout the offseason. Okay. And now. So why not do some follow-up testing?
They did follow-up testing.
Why not keep going until you find... What my question is, why now? Did the pain change where it was? Or did they say, wait, shit, maybe this pain now, maybe it's stemming from the ligament? Why did that? That's what I'm asking. Why did it take this long? Why, when he was feeling it, maybe after the postseason?
Well, you know what? Maybe you've never actually had anything wrong with you before, and maybe that's a good thing. But normally you don't. A lot of times you don't exactly find out what's wrong with you right away with the first initial rounds of tests that happens.
But it would concern me that it was still bothering him.
You know what, bro?
There is a history, though, with it, because during this London series, look, there was an article written during that Red Sox series in London. New York Yankees say, in hindsight, Luis Severino should have had MRI before throwing.
Yeah, we know about that because
That was in last season,
he was kind of being a little bit of a baby, if you want to say that, about not going in the MRI machine because he felt claustrophobic about it, which I've had MRIs before, and they're not exactly fun to be in. But I'm sure the Yankees could have got him in one where he didn't feel so claustrophobic because they do exist. And the same thing happened in the offseason where the Yankees wanted to bring him in for testing, and he was just kind of like, oh, no, it's not really a big deal. It's not that – I shouldn't even have said anything. And it was a kind of a struggle to get him back here to get him to take more tests.
And now he's getting Tommy John surgery. So
yeah, and you know what? The dye MRI, whatever the official term for it is 99% effective, they say, or 98% effective, while the regular MRI is around 92%. But while they try to use the dye contrast as a last resort, is that it can inflame areas of inflame the areas. Ryan can look this up to get us, more official medical jargon here. But from what I was reading is that the dye can inflame the area it's shot in and then, kind of present other issues because there's inflammation involved.
My question was not to blame anyone. My question was, why now did they decide to go down and think this could be Tommy John?
Because all right.
Was there something that happened that they were like, oh, maybe we should have done this, and then they did it?
Well, basically, I'm going to go based on what I can remember from what Brian Cashman said. And even if they went ahead with the dye contrast in, say, December or January, they're still probably looking at a time frame where he's getting Tommy John around now, because they would have probably went with a more conservative approach, something more along the lines of what Masahiro Tanaka did, which worked for him, right? I mean,
one in a million.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm just telling you what the general
I agree with that.
So maybe it might have saved a week or two. I don't really know, but apparently this is what Cashman was saying. So look, I get it. Fans are frustrated. This team has not been able to shake the injury bug for going on 2 seasons now. But it's the same thing with what we were talking about with James Paxton. Everybody wants to flip out. Why didn't he just get back surgery right away? You don't want to rush guys into surgery if you can avoid it.
Right.
Especially you got somebody like Severino who is being resistant to taking tests. What are you going to, and really...
Here's why I'm most frustrated probably at Severino, because I just don't understand okay, he misses most of the season last year. What was his injury last year?
Was the lat and the shoulder.
And wasn't this forearm still, wasn't it giving him some issues once he started throwing again?
But maybe it did. I don't really recall that. I know it's the lat and shoulder. It could have been just something to the effect of, you use a muscle that you probably haven't. You probably hadn't thrown since what, the postseason in 20 or probably spring training, right? Right, he probably was doing spring training when they shut him down, so he probably wasn't. He probably barely used those types of muscles going back to October of 2018.
Look, and I don't blame him. The kid's young, and all you hear is how eager he is to get out there and win. Of course, he doesn't want to face this, but you're feeling this kind of pain, man. You're supposed to be a big time pitcher. You just got an extension for this team, and you're young. You gotta be proactive here. You can't just let shit linger. And
I don't think he did let it linger. He told the Yankees about it, and then he told them that when they wanted him to go for more tests, when he complained about it the second time, I guess during an all-season throwing program, then he told him that it was kind of said that, I should have never even said anything. It's not that big of a deal. Well, clearly it was.
It was. And he's not the only one.
If you want to, we had an argument about this last year where you were saying that, I don't recall exactly what it was, but it was just basically to the point where I was saying, like, if you're saying that as soon as the guy feels something, shut him down. Right?
Yeah.
Don't let him throw it. Don't let him. So, are we going to the point where we're just going to shove guys into surgery now?
I just think when it comes to certain parts of your body, like if his
you even said it last week that based on the way he was feeling pain from throwing a changeup, that you didn't think it was Tommy John surgery.
Because I thought it was a different part of his forearm, but it was still that same part he was feeling the pain in. So it's that same ligament. It's that same whatever tendon, whatever the hell it is. But my thing is, when it comes to certain guys and certain injuries, like Paxton, the knee, right? His knee last year. When it started to flare up again, shut him down. You don't have to put him on the IL. Just shut him down and figure out what the hell's going on. If your young supposed ace, which obviously now we have Cole, but with Severino, he's feeling issues with his forearm.
Isn't that what he
shouldn't pick up a ball.
Okay, and isn't this exactly what they're doing with Giancarlo Stanton right now? Shut him down.
And I'm okay with that.
But not everybody is. Everybody's calling him Mr. Glass, and he's soft and he's not cut out for New York.
No, yeah. Here's my favorite.
But you can't have it both ways. It's either shut them down as soon as they feel something, but then when they do that, don't call the guys cojones.
I am only one way. I am only one way on that.
Okay, well, maybe not you, but as a general you to the public out there. And
here's my
Ryan's
problem.
Looking up spotted dick for some reason, which is actually a pudding out in England. Don't ask
Is it
me how
really?
I know that. Yes, it's a pudding in England.
We're gonna need to get into that a little more.
Please leave us a 5-star rating and review, and let us know how frustrated you are with the Yankees' current injury
or if you've ever
situation.
tried spotted dick.
I think I know that because at a grocery store I worked at, they sold it.
Sure.
Here's my issue with this whole Stanton thing. You have the same fans sitting here going, this guy sucks. He doesn't need to be in this lineup. He strikes out too much. He's a hindrance to the lineup. They're better without him. And then he gets hurt and they take him out of the lineup and he's on the IL and they're pissed off that he's soft and isn't going to contribute to this team. Shouldn't you be happy? Right? He's not in the lineup now. But no, it's the same people who just want to hate this fucking guy. I tweeted something the other day and no one wanted to even look at it. How many guys did what he did in 2018? How many guys had 38 home runs and 100 RBIs in the American League?
How many?
4. And we have Yankee fans sitting here saying he had a bust of a season. You have people saying he's a bum. He sucked in 2008. He didn't have a year that he should have.
You know why?
4 people. 4.
You know the exact reason why they said that.
And who won MVP in 2018? JD Martinez? Because he was one of them.
Mookie Betts?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Martinez.
No, because Betts didn't win last year, so if Betts won an MVP, it was 2018.
Oh, no.
That's right, because we said that.
JD Martinez.
I remember having that debate, is that JD Martinez should have won.
Yeah,
I don't even think he was a finalist.
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
yeah. He should have won.
Just verify that for me, please.
I think it was
Ryan.
Jose Ramirez or something.
It was probably Trout.
No, Trout's
not
not
doing great.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to put a bow on Luis Severino, it's extreme.
Yeah,
it's
Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, and Jose Ramirez.
It's extremely disappointing. That
Which part is disappointing? Stanton or Sevy?
no, well, we'll put a bow on Sevy right now, and then we'll get into Stanton a little bit more. It's extremely disappointing because you've seen in a half of 2017 and in a half of 2018 just how legitimately dominant this guy could be.
Yeah.
And you were hoping now with the injury-plagued 2019 behind them, sliding in behind a guy like Garrett Cole where he doesn't have to carry the pressure of being an ace, that he could really reach that potential. And now it's another lost season.
I will say, though, that this makes me more interested in the season that Jay Happ's about to have because you look at it, I mean, what's going through his mind right now over all these guys? It's this season of any player on the Yankees, if anyone has an incentivized based season.
Ryan, I don't mean to cut you off, but we're doing over-unders this week, and J-Hap is on the over-unders, so I would want to, if we can dive into
and it has to do with his
and it does
incentives.
have to do with that incentive. So, I like to call you jumping the gun guy, Ryan. So, I mean, if you really want to go into J-Hap right now, you can, but...
No, I was just going to go into it because we were just talking about starting pitching, but...
No, we're descending to about 10,000 feet.
All right.
Yeah, and, it's frustrating just based off of what you said with Sevy. We wanted to see him gain on this, and Ryan made a great point, a couple months ago. He was excited to see what Sevy was going to do, and he thought he was going to be one of the most dominant guys because the pressure was off of him.
Yeah,
because that light wasn't shining on him anymore.
Yeah, especially with you had the signing of Cole, you had Paxton and Tanaka both on contract years, but now you don't have Paxton, you don't have, and Severino's out now, so there you go. I mean, really, that out of all the starting pitchers, he was the guy that was going to kind of coast through.
Yeah,
they're under the radar, but that
fucking sucks, dude.
What did you say on before? Because the last podcast, it was just they were shutting him down. You said over the 4-year extension, what is it, 2.5 years, he won't even start a game.
Oh yeah, basically now it's going to be 2.5 years.
Yeah, it's gonna total to about 2.5 years.
And I saw some analytic nerd tweet that the Yankees, even if they get what would be considered typical Sevy in the last year and a half of the contract, that his WAR value will earn whatever the contract is. I don't want to hear about that shit, seriously, because I don't really care.
It doesn't matter.
And he does have and the Yankees do have a nice option on him for 2023 for $15 million. So the Yankees cannot keep him around for another he could still have another 2.5 years to pitch here.
You're still hoping he comes back and he's dominant. I mean, the kid's young. It's not like he's coming back at age 34 after this.
And here's another thing. People want to call up Sports Talk Radio and be like, "Oh, Cashman's a dumbass for giving out that contract extension." You had this is and Hal Steinbrenner talked about this. Trading for guys, contract extensions. Anytime that you have to go out there and put money down or trade or give up assets for a player, it's a risk, and you don't always get paid off on the risk. But if you're going to get somebody of Luis Severino's talent level at that rate, hey, you know what? It's a risk you got to take.
Yeah,
man.
because you don't foresee these types of injuries. If he's healthy and pitching every single year, he's way more valuable than that contract.
He threw in his 2 full seasons with the Yankees in 2017 and 2018. The guy threw over 190 innings. He's pitching to a 3.3 ERA, under 2.980 ERA. I mean, the guy's got top 10 Cy Young, 2-time All-Star in both of those seasons. So I mean,
what's his salary per year with the extension? 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4 for 40, and then they hold a $15 million. Is it his option or the team's option? In 20 club option.
Even if he's just good over those 4 years, that's still a fucking steal.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not paying him too much.
What did Cole? I can't think of his name.
324.
Pitched for the Phillies and
Cole Hamels.
Cole Hamels.
He got what?
What did he just get?
20 something.
Cole Hamels.
Cole Hamels got $18 million.
Yeah.
$18 million. We were going to get Sevy for 4 years at 10. And we know the type of talent he is and how young he is.
Yeah.
Come on, that's a fucking steal. Even with the Tommy John. Even if we can get him back for a year and a half. That's still a steal. Now you're pairing him up with Garrett Cole. Come on.
I still don't, like I said, I still don't think it was a mistake to sign him. I think you gotta try to do these things at certain times. And coming off the 2 years that he had, you're getting a guy with that talent level for 4 years at $40 million. I mean, it would be stupid not to
And
try.
look, a guy like sorry, Christian. Zach Wheeler's getting paid $21 million this year. And when is his service time? I don't know. He still has 3 more years of service time left, Severino. So he wouldn't have been a free agent for a while, but
the
still.
Yankees bought out a couple of years of the arbitration, and then they gave him an extension on top of it.
Seems like he's been around so long because he's had a career for the Yankees,
But
up and down, reliever.
What is Cashman supposed to do? Be nervous about injury with every guy he signs?
Well, he should have been with Aaron Hicks, but that's another story.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about a guy who
another contract.
we signed for nothing. I mean, he's way more valuable than that contract. I know he's injured, but a healthy Hicks is way more valuable than the contract he signed.
Oh, that's an oxymoron.
Healthy
Yeah, I
Hicks.
guess it is, but it's all hindsight.
Yeah,
right?
in terms of
That's what I'm
in
saying,
terms of
though.
value from a center fielder when healthy, he's a top contributor.
When he's on the field,
We're not talking about a guy who's getting $30 million
No.
for the 8 years.
No.
That'd be a different story. Then we would say, wait, there's way too much risk involved. But when there's such a little risk and more upside than anything else, you take that chance. Sevy's above and beyond that. He's way more valuable than Aaron Hicks.
I mean, at his age, he needs to grow up, though. When your boss calls you in, and especially when you're doing physical work for a living, such as being a baseball player, and your boss wants you to take a fucking MRI, go get it done,
you have
dude.
to.
Go take a Xanax and get in the goddamn machine and shut up.
It sucks. You've had one. I've had one. Right? I don't think you've had one.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
It sucked.
It's not pleasant. It's not something I enjoy doing, but
what are the Yankees doing there, though? Like, say if he refuses, say no. You have to do this. It's part of the contract.
I mean, eventually he did get it done. That's kind of why he came back up, I think.
Just because he says no, it doesn't mean you have to say okay.
I don't know what, but again, I don't know what it says in the what's the word I'm looking for? Like in the collective bargaining
handbook?
agreement, what in the
employee
handbook.
the employee manual.
Like, can they force you to take a test?
Oh man.
What?
I mean, it's all bullshit. It doesn't matter. It's all semantics at this point, right? It doesn't matter. He's out for the year. He's out for half of next year if we're lucky. And it is what it is at this point. What do the Yankees do? I mean, you're going to try with. You have a lot of hopeful guys in your system, which is good. And if they don't pan out, then hey, we have a trade deadline that we can get shit done before. And maybe you take that route if you have to.
We'll see what happens on the pitching front, but let's get back to Giancarlo Stanton here. If there was anybody that needed to just, because I've been rewatching Breaking Bad, call the vacuum cleaner guy and just get a clean start somewhere, it would be Giancarlo Stanton after the way he's just been eviscerated by fans on social media this week. And you know what? I understand the frustration. I'm frustrated too. I expect big things out of Giancarlo Stanton. But again, I mean, like, I don't know. I never been known as a glass half full guy, but how many games did he miss in the 2020 season?
A lot.
What were you talking about?
How many games in 2020 has Giancarlo Stanton missed?
Oh, none in 2020.
this year.
Exactly. So until we know how many, until we see the end of this story written, why are we getting so aggravated because he's missing
spring training games? Yeah, I agree.
It's a grade 1 strain. We don't like.
I also don't blame fans though for
I understand
being up in arms and just expecting the worst.
Completely understand the frustration. I'm not saying that I'm not frustrated either, but if he misses the first 14 games of the year and then plays the rest of the season, does this really matter?
No.
Again, and then people are going to say, "Oh, yeah, right, he's going to stay healthy."
It's just a matter of it being one thing after the next.
The rest of the year.
It's just one thing after the next. If last year doesn't happen, we're not flipping out about this. It's something minor.
Well, you know what? Let's see what's going to happen. It sucks that we have to deal with this again. And like Chris's point, the Yankees are doing what he wants them to do. You feel something, shut him down.
Yeah.
Don't let it get worse.
Yeah. I'm all for that. I am all for it. Figure out what the hell's going on, and if this guy can come back from it, and instead of just throwing him out there and acting like it's nothing.
And here's what my problem is with fans with Giancarlo Stanton. If you boo Giancarlo Stanton now because he's hurt, whatever, dude, fine. My problem is that this son of a bitch never was given the time of day by this fan base.
100%.
And that's what bothers me about it. And I don't want to be the guy that has to go out there and defend Giancarlo Stanton on Twitter all the time. But this fan base never gave this guy the time of day. They never get opened up to him. And he's not made for New York. He's soft. What did he do in his first game as a New York Yankee? What did he do?
I'm glad you just said that, Christian, because
Dingers.
I'm listening to our boy on the radio. I won't say any names, Mark Malusis, and they're talking about how, hey, he just never came around. He just always struck out. He was getting booed by his first home game because he just didn't do anything. Yeah, he fucking did. He hit 2 home runs on opening day in Toronto, right? Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Happ, Tyler Clifford.
This guy didn't even have a chance to come home and do something.
I don't care if he went 0 for 10 with 10 strikeouts. You don't boo a guy on his first friggin' day in pinstripes. You don't do it. You never gave the guy a chance to settle in.
And here's my thing. I know no fan will ever think this way, but why are we blaming him for getting paid so much money? Why is it on him? You want to boo someone for him not doing what you want him to do? Ask Brian Cashman to come down. You could boo him. Or the Steinbrenners.
Or how about boo Jeffrey Loria, who gave him the goddamn contract to begin with? Boo him.
Yeah, let's just boo them. Right? And he's getting paid so much money and he's injured. Okay, you think that's his fucking fault?
Somebody's going to hand you a check for $300 million. You're going to tell him no?
Right. I think I strike out too much.
Only give me 125.
Yeah,
guys.
Please.
I don't want to sound like a broken record because I feel like we did 40 shows about this in 2018, but it circles back to this where the guy the fans just never opened up to him, and I don't think and it's not even that it was his first impression. The guy hit 2 home runs on opening day, and then God forbid he struck out.
Look, if this was something where the fans gave him a chance and he just continued to suck and he sucked in the postseason, fine. Again, I'll go back to 2018. The guy got booed all season. He did what only 3 other guys did in the American League, and he got booed all fucking year. All year.
And he's soft. Well, how many games did he play in 2018? 158, I believe, was the number.
Was it 158? Wow, I thought it was 152.
Yeah, 158.
Okay.
Wow.
The guy played 158 games in 2018, right? Mm-hmm. With a bad wheel that would have landed him on the friggin' IL. But guess what? He didn't go on the injured list because the team was out without Aaron Judge, and he knew he needed to be in the lineup. Mm-hmm. But he's soft. I'm sorry. And again, you want to say, oh, well, look how he performed in the postseason in 2018. This dates back months before we even got to October.
Right.
If you started booing him because of how he performed in October,
fine,
no problem. Mm-hmm. You boo him because he couldn't stay on the field in 2019, fine, no problem.
But don't use that as a scapegoat because you've been booing him since the day he fucking got here.
Want to boo him because he's hurt again? Fine, no problem. But you booed him the first friggin' day he put on the pinstripes.
Yep.
And that's what bothers me about this whole thing.
Again, not to sound like a broken record, but in a year where only 3 other guys did what he did. So think about that. When would this guy ever win for you? This is what Francesca loves the word compiler. Yeah. That's all these things are. They're compiling now. It's just one thing after the next, and it's just another excuse for fans to hate this guy. But don't sit here and tell me this is why you hate him. You hated him when he was healthy. You hated him when he hit 38 home runs. You hated him when he had 100 RBIs and sucked up injuries to stay on the field when Judge was hurt.
But Chris, his clutch and late numbers were terrible. What happened when he was hitting grand slams in the first inning and would put the Yankees out to a lead they never relinquished?
Yep.
That doesn't count? Because I seen him do it.
That was a good game. I know which one you're talking about.
I seen him do that a couple of times, hit big home runs early in the game where the Yankees got off to a lead that they didn't give up. But because clutch and late, that's where numbers get skewed.
No, we see eye to eye on this. I think all 3 of us do.
He's definitely unfairly scrutinized, prematurely at least.
And I'll tell you this. and I went and made a lot of comparisons. I've been saying this since the day he got here that this is A-Rod 2.0, and I made a lot of comparisons to it on Twitter, and I got a lot of feedback from fans that were saying, well, A-Rod was healthy, and he did this. You know what? A-Rod missed a lot of time with injury, and he even got suspended for a whole friggin' year, so it wasn't all peaches and roses with him either.
And just real quick to your point, A-Rod was on steroids, correct? And why did Andy Pettitte take steroids?
To heal, well, he said he did to heal an injury.
Right. So how do we know that if A-Rod doesn't take steroids, he's not hurt just as much?
Well, he ended up being, the steroids led to his demise. I think we can safely say that.
They did.
But here, and I said this, I tweeted this, and I said, because everybody says John Carlos Stanton's not clutch, he'll never be clutch, right? Well, Alex Rodriguez wasn't clutch until he was, and he carried the Yankees to a World Series, right?
Yep.
Everybody wanted to write the book on Alex Rodriguez that he could never get it done in the big spot. But it took him 6 years. Unfortunately, it took that long. But guess what? He did it in a big spot. The point with John Carlos Stanton is that, yeah, he's got an opt-out at the end of this year. But if he doesn't opt out, he could be a Yankee for 9 more seasons. 9 more seasons. Because there is a team option at the back end of the contract. Doubtful the Yankees pick it up. But, hey, he could be here for another 9 years. So that is my point being with that is that his book is not written. There's still chapters to write in the John Carlos Stanton story of being a New York Yankee. Is there not?
Yeah.
And I got people telling me,
I hope so.
And I got people telling me, I disagree with that. What do you disagree with? That he still has a contract to play here?
I agree.
And look at the similarity. And for anybody that didn't see this on Twitter or hasn't heard this before, look at the similarities between John Carlos Stanton and Alex Rodriguez. In their first year with the Yankees, Alex Rodriguez, 2004. He played 155 games, 36 home runs, 106 RBIs. Stanton in 2018, his first year with the Yankees, 158 games, 38 home runs, and 100 RBIs. Nearly identical, right? Now, where things took a little bit of a turn is that A-Rod won an MVP his second year, and John Carlos Stanton basically sat the entire season out. But their first years are basically identical, and it goes even further into that, where you look at the scenarios around their trade. Okay, both signed record-breaking deals at the time. Correct? I'm not positive in saying that, but they both signed record-breaking deals at that time in history. Right?
Yes.
3 seasons after the deals were done, after the deals were signed, they both got traded. Exactly 3 seasons afterwards. To the New York Yankees after winning an MVP award.
There you go.
Both switched positions after the trade. A-Rod went from shortstop to third base, and it's a little bit different with Stan, but he still went from right field to left field /DH.
Right. Yeah. Which did affect him.
And both of their natural positions were at the time played by who you would deem to be the face of the New York Yankees at the time.
That's true.
And not to mention that the previous year's starting second baseman for the Yankees was the centerpiece in both of the trades. Alfonso Soriano in 2003 and Starlin Castro in 2017.
Wow.
Damn.
So
does that mean, so how many more years until they win the World Series then?
Well, hopefully.
4?
We got about 6 years to win to get the ring here. So hopefully that's where the trend kind of breaks. But hey, when I say A-Rod 2.0, it's just, I mean,
I've never heard anyone make that many comparisons before. I never even thought about it that way. That's a solid comparison there.
So it is. I mean, there you are, and it's the same thing with A-Rod. Fans never gave Alex Rodriguez a chance. I don't know why. The big money, the guy who his natural position was taken over by the guy everybody loved, and he was never. A-Rod was never Jeter to the Yankees. Maybe Stan will never be Judge to the fans.
That could be it right there.
Vein. But you know
he's
what?
No Aaron Judge.
And that's why I always took up for A-Rod, because I felt like he never got a fair shake from this fan base. And that's why I guess I'm going to take up for Stan all the time, because I don't think he gets a fair shake from this fan base. If he plays 19 games again this year, I'm not, I won't stick up for him anymore. But until we get to that point, let's get to that point.
And here's the thing too, right? A-Rod, if you wanted to make a case of why you were on A-Rod's ass more, he came over and almost immediately there was, some rumors going around that he was ruffling some feathers with Jeter. and you didn't like to hear that. So fine, you want to make him the enemy at that point, whatever. Then he gets caught doing steroids. Fine. Want to make that another point? Okay. What has Stanton done? Other than be injured, which he can't control, what has he done?
You know what? I tweeted this to. I was talking to somebody, and I said, you know what? It's really not a good look for him to be injured again when he's jerking off in the weight room, lifting a supermodel. Like, come on, bro. Like, you got. Let's wait till you put in a $150 before you start doing that shit. But other than that, you know what? And would you rather him have this calf strain now or in September?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, with the recurring
and then I know
shit,
I hear people.
we're
recording on Saturday night again, and I can fast forward into Monday morning with everybody listening saying, "Oh yeah, you think he's gonna be healthy this year?" I do. Okay, call me a cockeyed optimist, but I do. I just. It is what it is, bro. I don't know. I'm just not going to sit there and try to look negatively upon these things right now because we need some positive energy surrounding this team because right now it seems like Aaron Judge has a torn labrum and we're going to miss him for the entire year because now apparently they're going to send him for more tests after he's been shut down again.
Fuck.
And that's the only appropriate response to that.
Fuck. Need some dotted cock. Is that what it's called?
It's spotted dick.
Spotted dick. Spotted dick, dotted cock, whatever.
Huge difference.
Huge. You really think so, man? You think it's that bad?
Well, what I mean, no, I personally
man,
don't. I was the one trying to convince myself that Severino didn't need Tommy John surgery, but at this point, I mean, I'm sure John Carl Stanton might not even have a calf muscle left. It just might not exist anymore.
Damn. I mean, if Judge is out for the year, that's tough. That's a tough blow. That's a tough fucking blow, man. Because, you know, you can overcome these position player injuries to an extent. But now we're taking Judge and Stanton out of the lineup. When are we going to get remember when they first traded for Stanton, we had our over-unders, how many home runs they were going to hit together in a full season? We haven't even gotten that yet. This will be 3 years. Third season. Damn.
I don't know. Like I was saying, I just contradicted myself by saying that I just wanted to try to be positive about Stanton, but I don't know, bro. Like when it's with Aaron Judge, man, I don't know. Even if he misses the entire season, I just don't have any hopes for this year. I really don't.
Here's the thing. It started with, you know, something minor. They're shutting him down for a couple days. He was still doing some drills. Then what? He starts swinging again. He starts feeling pain again. And now we're just sending him for some more tests to get to the bottom of this. That sucks. That's a shitty thing to hear.
And just, you know, just make sure you're taking a test of everything now. Like you learned I think maybe you
they should just go for full body MRIs and whatever. Just find it. Find it and figure it out.
Yeah, even like.
But if it's the labrum, dude, if that's the issue here, that's a big problem.
Well, look, that's what Miguel Andujar, his injury was last year.
Maybe it's just severe tendonitis.
I mean, it can be. A
couple cortisone shots and he's feeling fine. But damn,
I
if it's a labrum,
I thought I
bro,
tore my labrum and I couldn't even lift my arm.
Oh, forget it.
And I got a cortisone shot. I was like, this thing didn't do shit. And then 2 days later, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
I had to have two. Before I had the cortisone shot, I felt like my shoulder was hanging on a thread.
And what was I doing? How did I hurt myself? I was jerking around in the gym, doing more weight than I probably should have.
Taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Selfies.
I hope, you know what? I hope you get coronavirus, bro.
Thanks. That's fucked up.
You said that, Chris, before we came on the show, said that he could beat coronavirus without any antibiotics.
Absolutely
so
could.
I want it. That's a challenge that you accepted just now. So there you go.
Not a problem.
And no, I don't think it's a joke. Okay, take coronavirus very seriously.
I think it's a joke.
I hope that it's not a pandemic where everybody has to stay in their house and have to live off of army rations and bottled water.
It's
for
a joke
6
to
months,
me.
But
real quick.
No, you got to say that you don't think it's a joke because then people get upset,
will,
and
yeah.
then
Well, we did lose a follower, by the way. I mean, a listener.
who?
My father. Because I called him a fucking asshole. Called him my fucking asshole father.
Well, he is an asshole if he's not listening to the show anymore.
Yeah,
he wants me to apologize. So
Yeah,
So how's he going to know if you
to me.
apologize if he's not listening to the show anymore?
he said if I don't apologize.
Well,
So should I write it down like Bregman?
well, Mr. Stacy, on behalf of your son, no, you sold.
I think I was in the right.
You sold me like 3 lemons in your career.
Wow.
So you know.
I'm sorry, Father. I shouldn't have spoken to you that way. No one should ever speak about or to their father that way, unless he truly is a fucking asshole. Then you can call him that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in your defense, I mean, your father wished that your brother
Punch me right in the fucking face. So you know what? Maybe I take it back. I redact.
I just wish I got a cleaner hit on you that day.
Maybe you'll have your chance one day.
Yeah.
Pop.
Anyway, what the fuck were we saying, Judge? I'm honestly, I feel very sad right now. This was supposed to be our year to be excited.
Yeah, and then I'm watching the game today. The Yankees played a split squad against the Tigers at home, and then the Red Sox on the road. They won both games. Both starting pitchers looked really well, Montgomery and Garrett Cole, baby. But watching the Cole start was on and watching him in the first inning, something wasn't right with him. I don't know if he was unhappy with his stuff, or something. Maybe he wasn't gripping the ball right, and I'm seeing him kind of shake his hand, fidget a little bit, have a kind of disgusted look on his face, and I was like, I'll commit suicide right now.
Yeah,
seriously.
Oh yeah.
And yes, I take suicide very seriously.
Jesus Christ. We need a button. We need a button so people know we're joking.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last thing I needed to see. But then he came out and was throwing smoke, breaking off nasty curveballs in the second. He actually pitched 2 2/3. Boone took him out exactly at 30 pitches. He looked great. I mean,
he looks like a G even in spring training. Like the way he just walks off the mound after a strikeout.
You know what that's called? That's called fucking balls.
It's cool. He's got those fucking balls.
You know what, Gary? That's what I'm going to love about this guy. He's going to drop his balls on the mound every time that he starts a game and says, "Come on, let's go."
Here you go. I love that shit. That's why I have a newfound love for Paxton after that playoff game. I really do. I mean, that took him to another level for me. What'd he do? He just looked at Boone. He's like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
No, he said, let's go.
Let's fucking go. Right? That pumped me up.
Yeah, and
then he almost got jacked for...
If Juice Balls were still playing the postseason.
It's way gone.
Deep drive to left, right?
Deep to left.
All right, so this show ran a little long here. We're about the 42-minute mark, and we haven't even gotten to the over-unders yet. We were going to talk about the Gardy Stalker story, but I think maybe we'll just put that one on hold here. And
let's let it marinate a little. We'll do it next week.
And get into part 1 of the Yankee over-unders. If you are a regular listener to the show, you know that we have an issue with Fred from Baseball Reference. Now, Fred is...
a made-up character.
I guess he's
a character piece.
I guess maybe he's you call it an algorithm. I guess that comes up with the projection.
No, it's not an I guess. It's definitely an algorithm.
Or maybe is it an algorithm? Or maybe some jerk off named Fred is sitting in a room somewhere saying, "Yeah, okay, James Paxton, 158 innings this year."
I'm gonna go with that. I'm just gonna go with that.
So Fred is the one. We personified the algorithm or renamed the person Fred. We'll go with Fred right now.
He's an alcoholic.
He's not an alcoholic.
Who left his wife.
He just doesn't really know much about baseball.
6 years ago. Ryan's taking messages right now.
Ryan's on the
This guy's
phone.
so fucking popular.
He's just like, fuck
He's
this
taking
podcast.
He's taking fan messages right now.
Is this, you need to leave?
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't.
I think it was your dad.
Wow.
No, it's a butt dial. I just wanted to make sure everyone was all right.
Booty call?
His dad calling to make sure I apologize?
Yeah. No, we're good. Sorry.
You going from
you guys get distracted so easily. Just
I
do
heard
the show.
I heard a fourth voice, and I'm like, what
Yeah,
the
you could
hell?
hear the voice.
Yeah, but it wasn't getting picked up on the headphones.
Yeah, it was. I heard it. She was like, are you going from the first one down? Like, From the first one you posted, we going with?
Yeah, I guess we can do that, and it's just easier that way than trying. I was gonna write them down. I'll do that next week and kind of work them in an order of importance. But I got tied up doing other shit today, so I didn't get a chance to do it. We'll just, excuse me, that's the cookies and cream coming back up.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we'll start since we were talking about Garrett Cole. We'll start with him. Obviously, there's many different stats. I tried to find ones that are kind of debatable, or topical.
No, I thought you did a good job with these.
So we'll start with Garrett Cole. The over under was set at 3.24 for his ERA. We'll go with what the fans voted under. I'm taking the under. Stat guy Rye.
That's a tough one, but what was it? 324.
Yeah.
I don't want to go over, but I have a feeling he's going to have to throw a lot of innings this year because he's going to,
Threw 212 last year and 200 the year before that. So
yeah, and at 200 he had it under. I'll go over 330. I'd say.
Yeah, right around. I went under, but I think it's going to be pretty close.
I want to look up
because you got to remember too. I know he just came from the Astros, but he's on a team now that plays in the AL East. They're going to be playing, teams like the Orioles, and they're he could be a completely different pitcher here, where he's getting more run support on his days pitching. I don't know if they gave him a lot of run support when he pitched last year, but I go with under. I think he'll be around 318. I hope he's around that, especially with Sevy out and Paxton injured right now. You're going to have to give me a little better than 324, so I went with the under.
Fans, I didn't give the percentage, but fans went 87% under. I'm going under. I'm going under 3, only because I'm not paying this guy to be a number 2 or a sort of ace. We're paying this guy to be an ace, a top of the rotation, top 2 or 3 pitcher in the fucking sport, and that means your ERA's got to be under 3. So I'm going under 3. 299 is acceptable. Anything higher than that really is.
Yeah, and
sure, if he wins 20 games and leads him to the World Series with a 310, am I going to be pissed? No, but
to contradict my statement, he is playing in the AL East. Which what offenses scare you in the AL East at this point that he shouldn't dominate?
Anybody. I mean, a lot.
Do you think this is the weakest the American League East has been in a long time now?
Baltimore's a bandbox. Toronto, you can jack the ball out.
And Toronto has a strong offense.
And you can hit the ball out in Boston. Tampa is a house of horrors for the Yankees, so you really can put up, any of these teams can really put up runs.
House of horrors for anyone.
Any given time, but
including the fans.
I'm telling you, if you're paying Garrett Cole what you're paying him, I need under 324. That's not ace.
Isn't that what they're paying him? 324.
That is what they're paying him. Correct. That's not.
If you're paying him 324, you better be under 324.
When I look at a guy's ERA and I say 324, I say really good year, not an ace.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't like that I have him over that. I just kind of what Chris was saying, that maybe the run support could drive him up, but he was playing for the Houston Astros last year, and their offense is,
and half our offense is hurt right now. So
yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to so we got.
Hope I'm wrong there.
Fans under, I'm under, Chris is under, and Ryan's over. All right, Luke Voigt. The fans went. I'm sorry. It was 66 runs batted in for Luke Voigt. Fans went 82% over. We'll start with Stat Guy Rye this time.
I'm going under.
Actually, I think I gave mine.
I don't have high hopes for Luke Voigt this year. I actually see him possibly losing his job.
I don't really remember who went first last time, but we'll just say it's Stacky. So you think he's losing his job?
I think he's losing his job to my boy.
Who, Miggy?
No, I think Tyler Wade will take second base, and LeMahieu will be the everyday first baseman by halfway through the year. So I see. Or maybe not even Tyler Wade. I see LeMahieu being the first baseman by the end of the year. So I don't see Voigt producing.
It's funny that
year.
you brought up Tyler Wade because Joe and Evan were in Tampa Wednesday and Thursday and interviewed a lot of different people. Mm-hmm. And I caught the tail end of Tyler Wade's interview, and I got to tell you, I'm rooting for him.
He's likable.
This is why you have, when your team, when these radio personalities are at training camp or at spring training of your favorite team, that's why it behooves you to listen to these shows, because you might pick up on a guy's personality that you might not get from a post-game interview or something you might see on a scoreboard type deal in the stadium.
Also, I think they're different before the season starts with, nothing but hope ahead of them.
And especially a guy like Tyler Wade, how much are you going to hear from a guy like Tyler Wade during the season?
Did you see they mic'd him up for one of their practices?
Yeah, that was funny
entertaining. I like what they're doing with that. That adds another aspect.
He had you never knew the guy had a personality. He's got he seems like a really likable guy, funny.
And he's been with them from the beginning too, right? Because he was coming up with that core group with Sanchez.
Yeah, he's
Judgy.
drafted by the Yankees, so I'm rooting for him. I don't know where he's going to slot in. Maybe
Sevy.
Ryan's right that he becomes an everyday middle infielder. Maybe the Yankees realize that Torres is better at second base and Tyler Wade's your shortstop.
Don't forget Mike Ford too could be a guy that.
Tyler Wade's got a hell of a glove. We always said that, and he showed a little bit of promise with the bat last year that maybe he could be a competent guy. So I'm gonna at 66 RBIs doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm gonna take the under on that. I'm gonna take the under on that for various reasons, because of maybe he might platoon with a Mike Ford, because maybe Tyler Wade's knocking on the door to get in there, because maybe Miguel Andujar's knocking on the door to play some.
He's never had 66 RBI in his
he had 62
career. I mean,
last
he hasn't
year.
played a whole lot. Yeah,
62 in 118 games.
Yeah.
And he was hurt. But this year, we're not just talking about it, if he gets injured. We're talking about what Ryan said, if he loses his job or splitting time. I don't know. This one's a tough one. I'm going to take the over on it. I think that DJ's going to settle in at second, because just by default, I think the Yankees like him more at first, and I think they'll like their defense more if Wade is over at second base, like you said. But I think Luke Voigt's going to make it really difficult for them this year to take him out of the lineup.
But that platoon could even be when a righty's pitching. If Wade's on a good stretch of games, they'll start him against the righty, and then sit Voit out and put LeMahieu at first. So it's a good problem to have. At least they do actually seem like they have some depth at that position.
So
going into
Ryan
this year.
and I are on the under,
Yeah,
and
I'll go
Chris and the fans are on the over for Luke Voigt
by a wide margin there.
Yeah, the fans went 82%.
Yeah, that's
over.
fans are high on Voit. I hope I'm wrong.
If he played every day,
that's what I see it coming down to.
I would probably take the over, but I think there are a lot of other factors that come into play at first base that I'm going to go with the under here. So Chris and the fans go over 66 RBIs for Luke Voigt, and Ryan and I are under 66 RBIs for Luke Voigt. Oh, here we go. Hot button. Don't touch it. You'll burn yourself. Gary Sanchez, over under 29 home runs. The fans went over 81%. Chris?
I'm going to take the over here because
I think it's, go ahead.
If he's healthy, he's going to definitely hit over 29. And at this point, I just need to, for my own sake, assume he's going to be healthy this year, because this is the last thing we need. So I'm going to say healthy Sanchez, over 29 home runs. I'm going to say possibly over 40.
I'm taking the over because he played 106 games last year, and he was over 29 home runs last year. So even if he's hurt and misses 50 friggin' games like he did last year, he's still shown the ability to hit 30 home runs in a season.
In 2018, which everyone said was a terrible season, he played 89 games and still hit 18 home runs. So
yeah.
I mean, a healthy Gary Sanchez should blow that number out of the water. So put Gary Sanchez
on the field for 110 games minimum. It's a no-brainer for me to take the over on
How many games
and
does
here's the
Fred
thing,
have
too.
Playing? Probably around...
We don't have Austin Romine as a backup catcher anymore.
A little more than last year he has him. They don't have the games.
When you have a guy like Austin Romine on your bench...
games.
Yeah.
When you have a guy like Austin Romine on your bench as your backup catcher, you're a little quicker probably to give Sanchez some... Okay. No, I understand that, but you're probably a little quicker to give Sanchez more time off. If Sanchez is feeling good this year and he's healthy, they're not going to be so quick to just throw
Don't forget,
Higgy
they
into
got
a
guys
lineup.
like Chris Iannetta and Eric Kratz and Josh Tolley sitting around in the minor leagues. So it's not like they don't have any options as a backup catcher.
Yeah, but
Iannetta
it's
had
not
a nice
Austin
game,
Romine.
too.
No one is
I
as
agree.
good of
Okay.
a-
When did we anoint Austin Romine?
Listen,
as-
if you would listen to what I'm saying, all I'm saying is Austin Romine was an easy guy
He
to
gave
put
you
in.
the luxury of
Right.
and I
was
just,
allowing
and I'm
Sanchez
telling
to
you,
have
I'm going to
extra
stick up for Higgy bombs here and tell you that I think the Yankees feel more than
They are
comfortable
very promising.
with
about it.
letting Higgy go out there and catch. That's why they didn't really make a play for Austin
Yeah,
Romine,
they think
because they
very
felt
highly of
comfortable
Miggy.
with Kyle Higashioka.
Higgy, I mean.
Higgy bombs.
Higgy. I confuse Higgy with Miggy.
And I forget who was on the radio this year, but Higashioka's, you never really feared Austin Romine might bust up a game with his bat. Higashioka's got the type of power.
He's got some pop.
He might run.
Higashioka has the pop, but Romine was a very clutch player for the Yankees, I
He
think,
was.
in the last 2 years especially.
Okay.
But you weren't scared of the long ball necessarily, but he came through with runners in scoring position a lot, especially 2 years ago when Sanchez was down. He was one of the best hitters with runners in scoring position, if not the best.
Yeah,
that year.
he was a good player, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not. He's a backup catcher, and I think they'll be fine with Kyle. Again,
I think they'll be more than fine with them.
Right, if we're looking at Kyle Higashioka needing to start 50 or 60 games this year, that's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem right there.
Yeah.
But okay, so Chris is over. I'm over. Fans are over. Ryan, 29 home runs for Gary Sanchez.
Over.
Yeah, I think we're all unanimous on that one. I think that.
He has to be. I mean,
He
has
definitely
to be.
has to be.
He has to be because it just means he's healthy. It just means he has to be healthy.
But he wasn't healthy last year, and he hit 34.
Right.
So I mean,
Right. So
He was leading the league for a little while.
and I don't know if you caught the game today. This is the first time I noticed it. His new catching stance.
Yeah.
He's not crouching anymore.
I swear Girardi had a segment on MLB Network years ago saying how much he hated that
Where he's kind
stance.
of down on the knee with the one leg out, like if you remember,
mm,
kind of like
Pudge
the old,
used to do that.
the old Tony Pena
I
way.
think he
Yeah.
made him change his stance.
Well, this is the new organizational
Mhm.
catching philosophy
Yeah.
now that they're going with here.
Whatever works.
you know,
it looked a little awkward, though, at some
I'll tell
parts
you
that
what,
I
bro,
saw.
you can't be having no groin problems being in that position there. So
Because you just said organizational, just remind me, but when we're done with this, I do want to mention Matt Blake about something.
okay.
Mm.
Okay. All right, let's move along here. J.A. Happ, over under 158 innings pitched this season.
Damn. Okay, so let's talk about the incentive real quick.
Which is what, 165 innings pitched?
Yes.
Yes, and
Okay.
or 27 starts, I think.
Yeah. If the Yankees can help it, if they can help it from happening,
What did you say the start number was?
I think it's
27.
27.
Because this over
I'm about to
under
pop it up.
is very.
Pop.
It's like right on the line.
here.
Let's get what the fans. The fans said they took the over 66% on 158 innings pitched for Happ. And because I want to make my point before I forget here, I'm taking the over, and I think he's going to bust through both of those contract kickers for two reasons. One, they're going to need him this year, and I think they're going to need him next year.
Mm.
Because think about it. Tanaka's a free agent. Paxton's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what would you set the over-under on them coming back at? 50-50 at best?
Yeah.
Sevy's going to miss at least half the year. So what are you looking at? Garrett Cole and Jordan Montgomery?
Yeah,
maybe
you're
David
right.
Garcia?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's out there in the free agent class who they might trade for.
Yeah, you're right.
But, again, you're looking at J.A. Happ here.
Cole Hamels.
Come on, let's be real.
So the kicker for that option is 165 innings pitched or 27 games started in 2020. It'll kick in a $17 million option for next year.
Because at 158 innings pitched, if you divide that by 6 innings, which you would say is probably about an average start, more or less, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It comes to 26.3 games started.
yeah.
So I mean,
It would be tough for him not to hit this.
I would hope with the injuries that the Yankees have right now that he does hit it. Because if he's not hitting it, that's going to be another problem that the Yankees are going to have to face, because now J. Happ is not your number 3 starter. He's either a giant pile of shit or
Look,
he's hurt.
even as a number 3, his job is still simple right now. Pitch some innings, dude. Give me some innings.
Yeah, but he can't be pitching to a 5 ERA.
No.
3 starter. He's
No,
gotta keep
and
that
I think
shit in the
he's
low
still
fours.
better. I think he's still better than that. But you got to give me some innings, man.
So I'm taking the fans took the over. I'm taking the over as well, because Man, how did the tune change on J Happ here? Okay.
We need him now.
No way J Happ was on this team in 2020. Then it was like, yeah, I can see why they kept him. Insurance.
Now it's like, fuck.
Fifth starter. It's okay if he's the fifth starter. Now he's your third starter, and if this guy doesn't pitch 158 innings, you're looking at much bigger troubles than we really want to deal with at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm taking the over on this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the over too because going into this year, you would have imagined maybe the Yankees would have done their best to avoid him hitting these numbers.
Oh, absolutely.
But we're at a point now where the ball is completely in Happ's court because if he can go out and perform to just be a basic 5-starter, then they're forced to pitch him regardless of
Yeah.
And then to go back to what I was saying about how the tune has changed, we were saying there's no way he's going to make some starts, but there's no way he's going to hit that contract kicker. He's going to need to hit it.
Yeah,
I can't imagine that the Yankees are going to go out there and have that many impact guys. Let's say Montgomery and an opener come in, or Montgomery and whoever come in. You might make a trade. J Happ is still probably going to factor into being a part of this rotation.
Yeah.
this is going to be a good test for J Happ. It'll show a lot of character, in my opinion, because this is truly a guy that's performing for, you want to do your best for the team, but is there anyone in baseball right now that has more incentive than J Happ to have a great year? I mean, he's doubling his contract for next year.
No, you're right.
Because what happens if he doesn't hit these numbers? What kind of contract is he getting next year? At most, $8 million a
Might
year?
have to retire.
Yeah, he probably would have to retire.
He might probably get picked up somewhere.
But he wouldn't
No,
be
he wouldn't
making
be
1 year
making
$17 million.
No, he definitely
So
wouldn't
I would say probably he might make 17 over 2 years. But that's a lot of money that he could
As
throw
I
away.
go through tweets to get to the next poll, happy belated birthday to Stag.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
So happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
bud.
Thanks, man.
So we're all in agreement here. We're all taking the over
Yeah.
along with the fans on on J Happ here. All right. David John LeMayu over under 297 batting average. The fans went 84% over. Let's go with Chris here.
I'm going to go over. I think he'll be hovering around the 310 mark. I just don't see a guy with his talent and the way he puts the ball in play at the top of this lineup not hitting over 300.
Yeah, I mean, for him to have a 30-point drop in average would be pretty bad. I mean, maybe he played above his head a little bit last year, but to have a 30-point drop in average, that's not something that is going to probably bode well for the Yankees this season. So even if it is 3 points, I'm taking the over because I think he's going to be a 300 hitter again this year. I mean, from what my eyes showed me last year, I can't imagine him being the type of guy that just drops that precipitously in 2020.
Yeah,
I agree.
I say over too because he's a career 302 hitter and he hit 327 last year. Plus, I mean, Stanton didn't play at all last year, so hopefully he's back in the lineup. Judge missed some time, so a full healthy season, which who knows if that'll even happen. But with those guys behind him, he becomes even better. So we'll see.
So
I don't see it dropping that much.
All right, so we're all in agreement again, taking the over on the 297 batting average. Adam Ottavino over under 3.41 ERA. The fans went 83% under, and I'll take the under as well, man. I mean, he pitched to a 1.90 last year. What's his career mark, Ryan? His career mark is 3.44, so it's kind of right on par with that.
What did he have last year? 1.9?
1.9.
Yeah, he was wild.
I mean, you're going to tell me he's going to put up a run and a half higher? That's not good, man. And I know he tired towards the end of last season, and it almost made me go with his innings pitched using that instead. But I think the Yankees are going to try to kill him again this year.
Well, that's my thing.
I don't think he'll go. I don't think he'd be a sub-2 guy, maybe a mid-2 guy this year, but I'll take under on 3.41.
I think the biggest issue with these starting pitchers being hurt isn't that the Yankees won't still be great and make the playoffs. My biggest thing is you have 3 slots now, including J Happ, where you don't know what you're really getting out of the guy, and you're going to be really relying on your bullpen more than you would have hoped. So I think Adam Ottavino will still be the Scott Proctor of this year.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
And I think he's going to get a lot of innings, and he did tire a lot. But to go from a 1.9 to a 3.4, man, that's just that just means he had a really off year, and I don't see that happening. I'm going under on this one as well. I think way under. I think he's going to replicate what he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take probably even a full run under at like around a 2.4. I mean, that's not as good as he was in 2019, but still, man, I can't see him being a guy. 3.4 means you got roughed up a few times.
Yeah.
That's not just getting, a couple dingers hit off you. For being a reliever, 3.41 is, and especially a high leverage guy, it's not really a guy you're trusting too much there. So, yeah, I'm taking under. Chris is under. The fans are under. Ryan is.
I'll take the under as well, but I am concerned with him. I didn't like how he looked in that postseason last year, but it's a new year. His arm might be
and he's got an
better now, but that postseason, I mean, if you had to pick one pitcher that performed the worst out of the bullpen, it's clearly Ottavino, right? From last year?
Yeah,
in the postseason?
That would be fair to say. I think that's very fair to say.
In the postseason?
Yeah, in the postseason.
Yeah.
So, you're only as good as your last appearance. That wasn't
Yeah, I mean,
good.
Luis Sessa was better than him.
Betances isn't here again. I mean, he missed all of last year, but it's gonna be another guy. It's a good test for him too. He's gonna have to carry this bullpen, not carry it, but he's gonna have to perform and show up. But I don't see him throwing to a 3.4. That's a big jump from 1.9 last year.
So we're all in agreement here. Everybody's going under. And next poll here, I was actually going to save this player for next week, but considering that everybody hates him this week, I felt it was a good time to put him in, and that's Giancarlo Stanton with 307 plate appearances. Now, if you take the standard 4 plate appearances a game, that works itself out to we'll round up to 77 games this year. So it's basically, do you think Giancarlo Stanton is going to play more than 77 games this year?
I mean,
So Fred has him playing that many games this year based off the plate appearances.
And because the fans hate him this week,
wild.
they voted 66% under 307 plate appearances.
it was a smart move putting that poll this week.
So you're basically saying that you think he's going to get hurt this year.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what
You know what we should do just for fun? When he's cleared and healthy, hopefully, we should repost this poll and have them vote again. Have people vote again. Just to see how much emotion in the time.
Because I think this is
Takes
to
over.
clarify this, why we didn't use at-bats versus plate appearances, because
He walks a lot.
well, yeah, walking, because you can technically play an entire 9 innings and not have an credited at bat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So at plate appearances, because they're not listing games,
Takes
here
the elements
anywhere,
out of it.
Right.
This gives a more accurate prediction of how many games we think he's going to play, and I think that was the important. Instead of saying 19 home runs, I think the games played is what
definitely.
fans are really honing in on here.
Wow.
Fans went under, and by a 2-1 margin, 66% under. We'll go with Chris here. What's your prediction here?
Yeah, I'm going to go over. Even if he is hurt again this year, I still see him going over that. In his entire career, outside of last year
he's never
outside
had
of
under.
last year,
in
he's never
2015.
had under 318, and that was the year he got hit in the face, I believe, in 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2015 and 2019 are the only 2 years he played less than 77 games, which is what this breaks out to. So I'm going to take the over because I would be contradicting myself from about an hour ago when I said that, let's wait and see what's going to happen here. I'm taking the over. I think this guy, he might be hurt on and off this year. I got to feel that this guy might still even play 120 games this year, which would be a huge over from the 77 that Fred's got him at. And, we'll say, you want to say 120, that's what?
480.
Yeah, it's about 480 plate appearances. So I'll take the over on that. Easy over for me.
Yeah, over for me.
And it's so you're predicting what this algorithm is doing is predicting someone to get hurt. What are you doing? Do a full year projection.
Well, the algorithm's just stupid. It probably doesn't take into account the fact that they were injured in the previous year. The algorithm must have something.
Into account that he was
No.
It has to be.
No. Just let me finish.
Okay.
What I'm saying is it's not taking into account that the year before his plate appearances are so low because he was injured. So what it's doing is it's taking his most recent season and making it's too heavily weighted in the algorithm So it's bringing it all the way down.
But don't you think Fred knows that?
All right. Well, let's
He's
try to
drunk.
think who was a player last year that missed a lot of time but has an established games
Well,
played.
look at Aaron Judge's for example. He was a guy that missed a lot of time last year.
You can go Sanchez.
Yeah, so Judges.
Look, his 3, he's got him down. See, look,
He's got him getting hurt too.
he's basically got him playing the same amount as last year.
Yeah.
But we'll talk.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about more about Aaron. Aaron Judge was supposed to be in this week's poll. We swapped him out with Giancarlo Stanton because, like we said, everybody.
Yeah.
hates
So
him.
I'll say over because I don't think I'm not going to predict that he's going to get hurt this year. And if he doesn't get hurt, then that's
Or miss that
not even
many
a number.
games.
Yeah. You're telling me the guy's going to miss 90 games
Yeah.
this year.
This
Yeah.
next one was very interesting to me.
Yeah, there's a few that I had a tough time with.
All right. Over under Brett Gardner, 536 plate appearances. This was by far the closest vote, and it was tied deep into the night here before it finally went off. Fans went 51% under. And just to wrap up Stanton, we all went over. The fans went under on Stanton.
Yeah.
307 plate appearances. Gardy, 536. The fans went 51% under for the 536, which, again, just to give you a frame of reference, that's 134 games, give or take,
Yeah. Well,
Hicks due back this year? Yeah, right.
Who cares? Who knows?
But he
No.
is on track to come back
yeah,
this season.
but he won't.
Maybe.
All right, but right now,
And I'm on track to see a unicorn
Yeah.
run across my car when I leave here,
Right.
too. So
yeah.
I'm going to, man, this is tough because last year he only had 550. 141 games, 550.
a
So,
lot of defensive replacements, too.
I know. Man, I'm going to take the under here. I am. I'm going to take the under. I think he's going to be in the 520 mark. In there.
I wanted to take the under, but the more I think about it, I want to take the over because he's a lefty. But there is going to be some more competition. And what it comes down to is, will Hicks come back? Will Stanton stay healthy? And will Judge stay healthy?
And will Miggy keep looking good in the
Because
outfield?
that's
And
the
can't forget
thing.
about Clint Frazier.
Clint Frazier and even Tyler Wade could play the outfield.
Apparently Clint looks much better in the outfield right now.
So it's it's going to come down to Gardner, really.
You know what? You hope that Clint Frazier gets it now, because I didn't hear his interview, but basically from Cliff Notes version is that he kind of said maybe he's been a little bit immature about
Well,
things recently.
that's good. That's a good step.
That's all you could hope for.
Hopefully he gets it, man, because that bat speed is disgusting.
It's sick.
So you're taking the
I'm going to take the under.
Ryan's under, Chris is over.
I'm under.
So everybody's under, and I'm gonna go under as well.
Wow.
I think
Because he had 550 last year, and that was he saw a lot of games. Did he play? I don't know. Did he play the most games last year?
no
Torres.
Torres and LeMay. You
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
played more. I'm gonna take the under, even if you want to put it as a game mark at 134. I would hope that by the time we get towards the end of the season, where Gardy was still playing a lot in 2019, that Stanton's on the field,
Yeah.
Judge is on the field, Hicks is on the field,
Talkman too.
Frazier's on the field, Talkman's on the field, Miguel Andujar can play a little bit of outfield, and you don't really need to rely on Gardy that much. Early on in the season, you're going to have to lean on him, but as we start getting towards the end of the
Right.
season, that the big-time guys are going to be out there, and you won't need Gardy that much. That's why my vote is under, because I'm going to go optimistically here and say we're not going to need him at the back end of this season.
Unless he's performing. I mean, we didn't think he was.
Hey, you know what? Chris, even if he is, though, let's say he's having another good season this year, but you got a healthy Hicks, healthy Stanton, healthy Judge.
That's
Clint,
different.
Clint
You're right.
Frazier can catch a fly ball this year.
No, you're right.
Are you going to put?
No.
Gardy ranks 5th on that list.
Yeah. That's why I took the under ultimately.
That's why I'm going under. Ryan's under. The fans are under. So a little bit of agreement. A lot of agreements here.
I think we're all going to agree on this one.
Oh, this might be one of the dumbest ones yet. The fans overwhelmingly went 93% or Aroldis Chapman over under 22 saves. They took 93% over. I mean,
Unless Fred knows something we don't.
which would mean that Aroldis Chapman is hurt. Because what do you have? He had 37 last year, 38,
37.
37, 32 in 2018. In 2017, I believe he did miss some time, and he had 22. So
He's
all
projected
three,
the same amount of innings.
Getting hurt.
too.
and in the split time with the Yankees in 2016 and with the Cubs, he had 36, 33, 36, 38, 38. The guy has never had a year under 22 saves as a closer. So unless you're going to tell me Aroldis Chapman is not going to go out there and take the ball 50, 60 times this year, there's no reason not to think he's going to go under this number. So I'm taking the over, and I think it's probably going to be at least 10 to 12 more than what they're projecting here.
Yeah, same here. I'm not in the same.
I'm over. Yeah, over.
I mean, the other
It's
one
not
that
even
we could have
close.
went with was the 3.51 ERA, which I would have.
Oh, it went under that.
I mean, he
would've went under
did
that as
have
well.
22 saves for the Yankees once before in 2017, but that was a year where they really weren't projected to be anything
I think
special that
didn't
year.
he lose his job for a while there
He did,
too?
yes.
He was struggling. So even in a bad year for him, he still had 22 saves. So every year as a closer.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm looking at the combined because it's split between the Cubs and the Yankees in 20s. Every year as a closer, this guy never went under 22 saves. Why am I going to believe that this is the year he's going under 22
No,
saves?
he's over.
So everybody's in agreement. We're
Yeah.
taking the over on Aroldis Chapman here. And we're down to we have one more.
One more.
Wow.
Paxton.
James Paxton. I was going to go maybe innings pitched on this one, but I think it's going to be a little skewed because maybe they factored it in before he's going to miss time. So we went with the ERA, 3.99 over under on the ERA. The fans voted 83% under for James Paxton.
He's never had a season in his career over that.
No, he has not.
Nope.
His career, I believe, is 3.5, and
Yeah.
I'm going under. I mean, even with the injury, I think he's still, when he comes back, he's going to be dominant. I think he's going to have a really good season for the Yankees, and I think, again, even with this injury, he is going to make the Yankees question, should they bring him back? I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an under of the 3.99. I think he's going to sit more where his career ERA is, 3.5 or below.
Yeah, I'll say under as well, just because of what he did last year. He seemed to turn his season around when he started throwing that curveball a bit more. I think he figured things out, and he should be on the upswing now for the Yankees if he friggin' pitches again.
I think we'll see. I mean, we're hoping that he's back by Memorial
who knows,
Day.
though?
But if you're going to tell me that he's over 3.99, that means he's a 4+ pitcher, and that's not what the Yankees really need right now. Are you shooing me away here?
No, shooing Paxton away. You're good. You stay there, bro.
Okay, you stay right there.
Yeah, you stay there.
Okay. That the Yankees don't need James Paxton to come and be a guy that's thrown to an over 4 ERA. And like you said, he's never, even with his injury history, he's never thrown to an ERA above 3.9 in his career. So I'm going to take the under as well. And again, we're all in agreement that James Paxton is under 3.99 here. So I think that was a pretty good segment there. I thought we would have some fun doing it. And,
Absolutely.
And we did there. And next week, we'll be doing another 10 over-unders. I decided instead of doing 10 players, we're going to do 9 players. And we're going to do the Yankees win total.
I like that a lot.
So,
I know we're running long, so I just want to be quick on this. Did you see CeCe's comments about Sonny Gray?
I know
What,
he was
on
on
R2C2?
I know he was on their podcast, but I didn't.
CeCe's looking thin, dude. You guys watch the video of that?
Oh, he says he gets thin
He is
until he starts playing,
thinnest I've ever
then he
seen.
bulks up. Pretty much
Threw
what
Larry
he
under the
said
bus.
was I don't know if he was strictly defending Gray here or just speaking the truth. Gray knew what was going on with him, and he apparently didn't have the resources, the technology.
the mental resources.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't know if he was fully defending him here, but Sonny Gray was asking or requesting certain things about his spin rate and stuff like that, and the Yankees didn't have the resources, the technology to give him what he needed, what he felt he needed. I'm not saying that is an excuse for Sonny Gray in any way. I'm just telling you what CeCe was pretty much getting at. And I think it was eye-opening for me, if that's the truth, how valuable Matt Blake could be. Because we live in a time now where pitchers have become so dominant, and the Yankees were almost seems like they were so behind. And now we have a guy who's taking them to where they need to be. Maybe we're going to see a lot more out of the pitchers, that even the guys that we didn't expect to see a lot out of. Maybe a guy like NYYST goes from being a little below average to actually pretty good. Maybe a guy like Jordan Montgomery, who relies a lot on his off-speed pitches, becomes even better than we thought.
Yeah, I heard he's hitting around 94 right now. So.
Really?
So, I mean, I think
Great
Matt
point,
Blake is going to be way more valuable than we had ever thought.
Not discrediting Matt Blake at all, but in this instance, with Sonny Gray, show me the home road splits.
No, I 100% agree, and I don't think this is any excuse for Sonny Gray. I think even if he had the resources, he still would have sucked. What I'm saying is, it just was eye-opening in a sense of so many pitchers are on this path now of spin rate and all these different technologies that help them, and the Yankees weren't there.
It seemed
now
like
they are.
It seemed like the Yankees were fixated on making the pitchers the way they wanted them to be. They wanted Sonny to use his fastball more instead of taking what they have and building off of that and using their strengths, where a guy like Matt Blake could be that piece, where Larry Rothschild was more, no, we're going to mold you to be the pitcher we want you to be, where Matt Blake could be, we're going to make you your best pitcher.
And you know how much respect Larry Rothschild has throughout baseball, let alone in the Yankee organization when he was here. But he was the last piece of the we're moving on puzzle.
Christian, who was it that told Paxton to start throwing his curveball more? Wasn't that not even Larry Rothschild? Was it Beltran or something? It was like he figured something out.
You actually had the article just up, and
What?
When you were just before,
I don't know.
So James Paxton has been, yeah, it's right.
I kind of remember reading like even this was something that Rothschild didn't figure out.
So you can't read it.
So I mean, hopefully that's a good point though, Chris. With Blake, that's another good storyline to be looking.
I don't want
to
hear any excuses that Sonny Gray has ever.
Yeah, I agree with you in that. I wasn't saying it to defend Sonny Gray. I was saying it that I'm actually really excited to see what Matt Blake can do with these pitchers.
Oh, I agree. I think Matt Blake could be a hell of a find, but I also think it says a lot about what Larry Rothschild, the respect he has around the league, that the guy wasn't unemployed very long. He's already a pitching coach in San Diego.
He is.
And they have a lot of young talent out there. So, I mean, I don't know, unless you want to say San Diego doesn't know what the hell they're doing out there. That's something else you can look into. But, yeah, but no, still, I agree. It was time to move on from Larry, and you want to see what Matt Blake can do with this pitching staff. But you know what? Sonny Gray, the excuse list is as long as a country mile here. So, I mean, I don't really care what he has to say, because I every time I look at an excuse, I look at his home road splits. Why did he struggle so much at home
Absolutely.
and pitch?
Yep.
And pitch like the guy the Yankees thought they were acquiring on the road. Why?
Yeah, like that would have been a good conversation to have.
That's in between the years, my friends. That's in between the years.
Yep, I agree.
And again, we probably, like we did with A-Rod and Stanton, like I said, we probably did 40 shows. We probably did 70 shows about Sonny Gray and his. I wouldn't want to say something very demeaning, but his mental deficiencies at Yankee Stadium. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean they were just. You look at his splits, and it's more than disgusting.
Because if he would have,
he was an ace on the road.
If he would have pitched to what was he like, throwing around a 3-2 on the road in his career as a Yankee? If he would have pitched to that at home, it would have never gotten traded for a bag of balls or a shed. I think the Yankees acquired.
Yeah, it was a shed.
Joey bag of
Long
donuts.
shed or something. Yeah, I'm not even gonna look it up.
Hold on.
You got it. What the whistle?
A little dry here.
Little dotted cock over there.
Spotted dick.
Ryan, just show him what spotted dick is.
Yeah, let me see spotted
Sure,
dick.
you want me
real
looking
quick.
this up
Yes.
right now?
It's okay.
There it is.
Wow.
Oh, that's spotted dick.
Oh, I love me some spotted.
I think I got some of that at home.
What did I say it was?
Spotted dick.
It's more like a sponge cake.
Or an STD.
Well, maybe yours.
Oh, Heinz makes it. Heinz spotted dick.
Yeah, it's big in England.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not really a big,
All
not
right,
really big
big
over here.
in
You know what?
London,
Before the season
spotted
starts, we
dick.
are all going to try some spotted dick on the show.
No, it's pudding, custard, and dried fruit type pastry. I said it was like a pudding, right?
Yeah, you said pudding.
Anyway, I don't. This is just how we get off on shit here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going on what 4 weeks now? We've been promising new merch and a promo code. Now,
Yeah, I kind of like it now. It's funny.
no, it's not funny.
It's
I mean, can we make this happen on Monday or what?
Yeah.
Is that an empty yeah? Like
No,
when
that's a really.
like when you tell your kids, "Dad, can I have an ice cream?" Yeah, and then you never give it to them.
Okay.
It's a real yeah.
Okay, so
Imagine Francesca as a pilot.
Okay, we got some turbulence here. Okay, all right. If you look outside your left there, there's a Statue of Liberty there. Okay, not that cool. Okay, I think France gave it to us. Okay.
I was there when they built it. Okay.
Okay,
I was the one
watch
that
them build
actually
it.
named it the Statue of Liberty. Okay.
Yeah, they were gonna call something else. I threw it out the word Liberty. Okay.
It was
Stuck.
originally pink, but I said, you know what?
Yeah.
We don't want something pink in the waters. Okay.
You ever hear Kelly Green? Okay.
Just because I pulled it up. Sonny Gray's home road splits. At home, do you know what his ERA was without looking it up?
6.63.
624.
No, worse.
Seven.
6.98.
Okay.
On the road,
324.
328.
317.
Okay, so there you
Yeah,
go.
I mean that
I mean, exactly.
that's something that you wish he would have said that during that R2C2 interview.
Yeah, he'd
but
be
I
like,
doubt
"Hey
he brought that up.
guys, like my technology was super on the road."
He threw more innings on the road.
Gave up less.
He
walks.
threw 11 more innings on the road.
Yeah.
12 more innings on the road.
Less walks, less home
He
runs.
had 13 less walks and 8 less home runs.
You know how many times I've seen Rocky in my life? That's how many times we've talked about this on this show. Probably more. I know the numbers almost to a T.
Crazy.
And as I said it before and I say it again, I have no love for this fucking guy because on one of the worst days of my life that I had to go bury my grandmother, this guy is getting fucking buried himself on the mound and he's
smiling.
laughing like a fucking jackass as he's getting booed off the mound at Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, maybe it was like in a Aroldis Chapman smirk where I gave Chapman the benefit of the doubt, but I'm sorry, on the day I had to go bury my grandmother and I hate your fucking guts as it is, I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt. Sorry.
That spiraled out of control.
Well, you're the one that had to bring him up again. It's like an ex that you never really get over. And now she's with somebody new now, and she keeps saying how, oh, he never bought me anything, or he didn't take me anywhere. And meanwhile, like, you did everything that you could, and then I don't even want, what, go fuck yourself, Sonny Gray.
I like this. Triggered.
Punk ass bitch.
All right. I'm exhausted now.
You're exhausted. You got to go bring that up again.
I have a baby to tend to.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sonny Gray has kids, too. I wonder if they know how much their father sucks. Okay. Should I apologize again?
No.
Okay. Anyway, Chris will have, maybe this will be like a running joke. Like, remember, I don't know if you ever watched, who's the guy? Jimmy Kimmel? When
Jimmy Kimmel.
They used to bump
Yes.
Matt Damon. It was like a
Yes.
running gag. And then the whole I'm fucking Matt Damon song came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
love it.
is this going to be a thing? And then I'm going to have your wife come out and say, sing a song like that regarding somebody else. Are we going to have to get to that point? Or are we going to have
Maybe.
some new merch and a promo code on
we
Monday?
will.
All
We
right.
will.
All right. So let's wrap this up here. Thank you for listening to episode 168 of the NYYST podcast. I'm sure we'll talk about some injuries next week. Hopefully it's good news on Aaron Judge. Unless we have shit dominating the airwaves. We'll get to the Gardy Stalker story now that Stat Guy Rye is here. And we'll do the second part of the Yankee over-unders. And I think I'd speak for everybody here. I think we really enjoyed that this week.
Yeah.
So I hopefully it played
Absolutely.
well for
Good
you guys.
numbers, too. Good numbers.
So thank you for listening to episode 168. Follow us on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk. Stat Guy Rye.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.